Welcome to today's coffee lecture and welcome Roman Walt. He will talk about the platform GeoVITe. It's a platform that we as the University of Bern have licensed, and Roman Walt is an academic librarian and he's working at the ETH Library in Zurich, and he's a specialist for geodata, and we welcome you and we're looking forward to your input.
Thank you, Eri, for this nice and kind introduction. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to be here today to present you our GeoPortal GeoVITe, our portal for easy and direct access to geodata, as Eri mentioned, which is also available at the University of Bern. What we're talking about the next about 10 to 15 minutes. First, a short introduction to the learning objectives. Then a short view onto the ETH Library, the map collection where I'm working at, just only a few seconds because time is short and we want to get to know how to work with GeoVITe. The main part of today's coffee lecture is, of course, GeoVITe. You will learn how to use GeoVITe, what functionalities does it contain, why it's useful. The difference are between our GeoPortal and other portals you probably may know. And at the end, there will be a short outlook onto the future of GeoVITe, what we're working on at the moment. The learning objectives, as I mentioned, you get to know, or you're able to know, to name the scope and the functions of our GeoPortal, and you're probably able to start downloading, combining your data using our platform. So the title of today's coffee lecture has been Lost in Space. Spatial data maps are a relevant part of our work at ETH Library, at the Maps and Geodata department, at the map department. We're not only working with digital data, digital maps and geodata, we're also working on printed maps. We have a lot of printed maps in our holdings. We're the biggest map collection in Switzerland. The slide you'll get at the end of this lecture. So the different platforms you see down on the slide, you could use or by your own using the slides. So why are we lost in space? As I mentioned, spatial data is a relevant part of science today, not only in natural sciences, earth sciences, but also in a growing amount of other fields of science like social sciences, historical sciences, as well in the community or public as well. As you can see on this slide, the usage of geodata is possible in a very broad field of actions, in a broad field of usage, of use cases. And one of the interesting parts using spatial data is combining spatial data with other kind of data like statistical data or live data regarding events in public and so on. Spatial data has become known in the broad field of public during the COVID pandemic, like these dashboards, which you probably have known in the time of the COVID pandemic. So why is it important to get the easy and direct access to this data? In a long period of time, it was only possible for experts to work with this data. But regarding developments in web services, spatial data has also been a part of this developments for a more easier access. We started working on this access a long time ago, 15 years ago in 2008. We developed our portal together with the Institution of Cartography and Geoinformation, IKG, at ETH. And at that time, most of the data we're seeing today has not been available for the public. It's been restricted due to some license rights, and it's been quite difficult to handle this data because of the amount of the data, because of the data format, and so on. And we wanted to build a easy, useful platform for our students and researchers, which are working with geodata, and developed a GIS portal, a GeoPortal, which is browser-based and easy to handle. Most of the data, we'll see that afterwards in a short video, is from SwissTopo. So it's quite kind of national-based data, we have several data sets available on that platform, starting from normal maps up to digital by native data sets, vector data sets, and so on. At the moment, it's only, as I said, it's only data from Switzerland, which is available on this platform, but we have multiple functionalities to get this data, to work with this data. I'll show that in a second. And we have the opportunity to get this data downloaded just by using the platform. The URL, the link you need to know is this one, geovit.ethset.ch. There you find the access to the portal. And now in the next about 5 minutes, we'll get an insight how this portal works, because it's a live session and sometimes there are some connection issues. I prepared a short video, but we'll comment during the video what you'll see. So this is the interface. After have logged in the portal, you start seeing several elements. On the right side, you see some layers where you can choose and define the data sets you would like to start working. It's quite easy. You can just, as you probably know from other web-based geoportals, you can switch through the data sets, choose the ones you would like, and add them to the map. We are starting with raster maps like the Landeskarte, Swiss map raster, and also some historical maps like the Siegfried map, Dufour map, and Geographisch Atlas is also available on the website. But not only raster data is available, we also have vector data, the Swiss topographic landscape model, Swiss TLM, all the containing layers in that dataset is available too, like the railways, road network, landscape, surface usages, single tree layers, and so on. We have also height models, elevation models containing in GeoVIT, like the Swiss Alti 3D dataset. And I'll just choose that one to combine some kind of a data set. I have chosen the raster map Landeskarte 1 to 10,000, and I've just added the road network. What you can do as well on the right side, I'll just stop the video for a second. You see the layers which you have chosen in the checkboxes. You see in the active layers on the bottom right side. So you can arrange the layers by drag and drop them into the order you'd like to see. Probably you'll have the road network layer on the top because it's a vector layer, it's transparent, so you can see the raster layers which are lying under that layer. You can navigate in the screen by drag and drop or scroll in, scroll out with the mouse, and I'll just reduce the view onto just the raster layer. On the left side, there you have a timetable where you can see the different available timestamps of the data. Normally, you'll start with the latest data sets, the newest published data which is available, but you also can choose the years which you want to like just by clicking on the year, and then you see the screen changes, the map view changes. And on the right side at this moment, you see just a white screen. That's one of the main functionalities which are different between GeoVIT and other portals like the GeoPortal from SwissTopo, mapgeoadmin.ch. If you choose a defined year, if you select a specific year like 2018 in that case, only data from this year will be shown. So if you have white spaces, white areas in GeoVIT, just be aware that probably the chosen year has no data for a specific area for that year. That's because of some updating cycles which Topo is or has used in previous years. Like for the Landeskarte, it's been a 3-year cycle, if I remember that correctly. So you can just switch between the years and add a specific year on your active layer dataset. Regarding the extent, you have several functionalities to define the screen extent in the middle of the screen. you can just use the layer extent on the top right corner and either add the coordinates you're working with. Probably you have a specific area of interest where you want to research for data and download data. You can just drag a rectangle in the web map in the middle to define an area. And you can also choose predefined grids like the national raster map, like 1 to 25,000 and so on. I just clear the screen and draw a new rectangle to define my extent. And that's the data which I'd like to work with for the next steps. So I just combined my layers. I just want to start downloading the data. The download layer is empty until now. So you see on the top, on the bottom right, active layers area, some of these scissors. There are two opportunities to clip the data you just selected with the extent. You have the opportunity to use this light green scissor for the road. I'll do that for the road network, and I'll do that for the map. And now will be not using the light green, but the dark green layer. As you can see on this small info box, there is an option for expanding areas. Be aware that if you're using our data, using the different data sets, depending on the data set, it's necessary, or the system has restricted size of the extents which are possible to clip and download. This because of the size of the data and the infrastructure, which is not already at that point that we can allow to download mass of geodata. But we have the option with this dark green scissor on the bottom right area, just to expand the area based on the area you just have chosen. As you see in the middle, this light green rectangle, that's the area which we have chosen. If I expand this area, it will be additionally be clipped the area around this defined light green area in the middle in the size of this area. We'll see that in a second. So I just clipped all my data sets. I'll switch to the download layer and I see, oh, I have all my files here. And as you can see, for the height model, which I use, where I use this expanded area, there are 9 clips which are available for download. As you can see, just the area in the same size of the area in the middle added for the download layer. If I want to download the data, it's quite simple. Request a file. You can choose projection. You can probably choose the output format for vector data, and then you start the download. In a few seconds, normally the data will be prepared, and another button will appear downloading the data. And then you can download the data for your local storage and work with the data locally. Last issue, we have some sharing options using the GeoPortal GeoVITe. You can share, for example, save and shared extents, the defined extents, as you have seen here. You can also, if you're working on with GeoVITe on a later date, you can also load this list, like this list I have here for download section. You just choose the list, load it, and you'll have your extent or your data loaded into the GeoPortal again. You can also share these lists. And on the bottom, you see a box share selected. You just have to add the email from your colleagues. And when you send the extent the saved lists, the next time your colleagues are logging into GeoVITe, this list will pop up and be as well in the basket for working cooperatively on some data sets you have chosen for your work. That's been just a small insight into all the functionalities. If you have any questions, we can probably discuss that at the end of the lecture. I just wanted to show you 2 more slides for this coffee lecture. The one is, as you probably know, most of the data today from SwissTopo is open available. SwissTopo opened the license restrictions, and most of their data is available for the public. So what are the differences and benefits between our portal and other portals like the MapGeo admin portal? What we prepared, or one of the main benefits is if you're using our portal, it's possible to dynamically define your extents you're working with. If you look at the print screen in the middle from SwissTopo, downloading data from SwissTopo is restricted on the defined tiles by SwissTopo for the raster data like the Landeskarte. In GeoVIT, you're able to dynamically combine all these tiles and just download one file with the file that you can work then in the future for your specific questions and import them into your geoinformation systems. Another benefit from using GeoVIT is the combination of different data sets. Again, regarding the service from SwissTopo, you have to first choose the specific data set, then go to the download section, then define what tile you need, and then you can download the data sets. In GeoVIT, it's all into one service combined. Historization, we have most of the published data sets from SwissTopo available and imported into GeoVIT. SwissTopo is working on that functionality too, of course, but they're not doing a historization. They started in 2022 and just will save the published data sets from that date on. And as I just shortly showed you, there are a lot of sharing options in GeoVIT which you can use for collaboration work on your research issues or questions you're working on. The last slide, and then I'm at the end of the presentation. We are working on a new development with GeoVIT. We want to open it to research data, to FAIR principles. At the moment, GeoVIT is not open available. There are just a few institutions, universities who can use this portal. We are working on that to open it, to make it accessible for the broad public, to add new data, international data, and mainly research data containing spatial information. And we would like to work on that with communities. We just started in October with this project. It will end in March 2026. So probably you will hear about our projects in the upcoming weeks. And we hope that we can finish and open the service GeoVIT for a broader public at March 2026. Having said that, I'm at the end of the presentation. It's been just a really short insight into GeoVIT. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm here for your questions.